Hi everyone, welcome to the Navigate Credit Union Broadcast Center. I'm GoLocal News Editor Kate Nagel. Thanks for joining us for the 4 o'clock News and Politics Show. I'd like to welcome my first guest, Providence College Friars men's soccer head coach Craig Stewart. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you very much for having us.
Speaking of news, the big news today, FIFA announcing 2026 is going to North America. All eyes are on the soccer world as it returns back to the U.S. in North America since the first time since 1994. What's the coach's perspective here? You live and breathe college soccer, but of course follow it on the national, international stage. How big is this?
Yeah, I think it's huge. I think at any level. I think it's fantastic for the country, for the game. Obviously everyone's excited about it already, which is big.
And so, were you surprised? I mean, it was us versus Morocco?
Yeah. I don't think you know what's going to happen, right? So I know the disappointment over not getting the bid for the next World Cup. But to have the opportunity to do in 2026 is huge. I guess the hard part is waiting the 8 years until it gets here. So, but yeah, it's big.
So you're here, you're Providence College, keeping an eye on the U.S. men's national team. How do things look moving forward?
Yeah, I think this is now another opportunity to really a platform and an opportunity to showcase what they're about. Obviously, it's a massive disappointment not to be involved in tomorrow's World Cup, but I think the young players now coming through, and there's an opportunity there to really look forward to not only 2026 but the next World Cup and be ready for that one.
2026, so we're here, it's 2018, you're talking about players in their late teens, early mid-20s. I mean, there's a lot of youth out there that could potentially be, again, keeping their eye on the ball here.
Yeah, I think if I was a young 17, 18-year-old right now, you'd be looking at that thinking, yeah, that's a huge motivating factor there, and definitely some players that I know of will be in that prime around that time who you're already excited about seeing playing at that level at that time. And
expanding the field.
Yeah, a lot of different changes. I think hosting with the 3 countries is new, so that'll be interesting. I think that's a unique and cool idea. Obviously coming together with those countries, so yeah, I think overall it's going to be exciting.
So by that expansion, I guess let more opportunities for host cities to potentially be at the table, and we know that Boston and Gillette could be there. I mean, how big would this be for New England, for Boston to be a host city?
Yeah, I think it's a great location. Obviously the facilities and infrastructure is here, but I think the fan base as well, where there's a lot of young soccer players and fans, and it's only growing. So I think we'd be really fortunate if we had that opportunity to host.
So we're keeping an eye on Gillette because, as we know, the Crafts have been eyeing that facility. But it sounds like from the press conference today up at Gillette that they're doubling down. They're going to commit for 2026 to being there and upgrading the facilities.
Yeah, I think it's, again, I don't know, again, all the ins and outs, but I think they're able to host a game there with some modifications to the field, with the surface, with the playing surface. So I think it's a great place to host games and real exciting. And obviously a big stadium where you can fill a lot of fans in there as well. So
you're heading up to the stadium today, doing a little recruiting.
Yeah, trying to get out of here, so keeping it short and sweet.
Well, give us a little insight as we have you in here in the studio, Coach. Give us the primer for the 2018 PC men's season.
We'll wait and see. We'll get through the World Cup, and all the guys will be watching that. We actually have a lot of the guys come back second session in the summer to start with summer classes, and they'll be watching some of the games. So get through the summer, and then again we'll have quite a young group in the fall, and see how that meshes together.
And how exciting is that for the team to all be back and together? Do you catch the games with the kids? Is it just like a really fun event to be involved in from a team-based perspective?
Yeah, I think again just the World Cup I don't know if it's just because it's every 4 years, but there's so much excitement about it, and even the college level guys, they get into it and watching the game, so, and they should be as well, so it's a great way to obviously learn about the game.
We saw FIFA had a little troubles in recent years. Do you think those are behind them as an organization?
Again, not too much insight there, but hopefully, and I think this bidding process was one that seemed to be more open and transparent, and again, I think the 3 countries hosting here, it's a great opportunity, and again, great for all 3 countries.
Do you think that's kind of one of the big takeaways, having that public open bid process as behind the closed doors? Was that really saying a lot about changing the culture of FIFA?
I think so, yeah, and you hope that it is done in a fair and diligent way, so I think if that's the way it was done, then we're happy for that.
And so last time I was here in 1994, we're looking at 2026. as the game progresses, the game advances, have there been a lot of changes? Is it a media world change of the attention, of the reach now in 2026 online? Last time, 1994, there was none of this.
Yeah.
Does this just really open it up for more viewers, more media, more money?
Yeah, I would hope so, and I think even in the '94 World Cup, that was a huge spectacle. I remember I was actually back in England at the time, and just a great World Cup even then. So I think, you know, many years ago, now how far things have come and the direction they're going, it could be massive.
What are you looking for in Russia?
England to advance out of their group, and then we'll go from there.
So you're here, you're focused on PC. Do you have some expat Englanders with you over here to keep tabs with?
Yeah, there's quite a few in the coaching world, and then we have one current player, an English guy, so we'll stick together. We have multiple nations represented on our team, so it's always fun as well.
So Russia, this current cycle, 2022, Qatar. What's the thoughts on that? Clearly a whole different dynamic than a Russia that's obviously 4 years away still. Yep. You know, heat going to be a factor?
I would think so. I think the intentions are some AC might be used in the stadiums, which would be interesting.
AC?
Yeah.
Has that happened in a World Cup before?
I don't know.
Like it was like roof. Is it going to be in a dome? Is it going to be enclosed?
Yeah, some indoor stadiums. I'm not really sure. Again, I think they're working hard to get the infrastructure right and the stadiums built.
Have you ever played in an air-conditioned stadium?
It feels like it sometimes, right? It's,
in these New England falls, winters.
Yeah. But yeah, it'll be interesting. But I think any World Cup, I think it's an opportunity for people to experience a different country and culture, and I think that's important as well.
Okay, so not surprised by the announcement today, are you?
Yeah, it's happily surprised and really excited.
Has there been some communications amongst players on the team, people kind of talking, saying, you know, we're really all excited about this?
Yeah, we had a couple of guys in today, so again, I think even the opportunity to potentially go to a World Cup and to be at a game. I remember the first time they hosted, I remember my brother-in-law was talking about how he's watching Maradona and Batistuta, and, you know, just the opportunity to see whoever the next superstars are. To see them firsthand and in a competitive environment like the World Cup is just a great opportunity.
Well, we're keeping our eyes again to see if Boston is going to be one of those host cities on the short list. Just talking in the green room, Chicago not on the short list, kind of surprising.
Yeah, the hub of US soccer, maybe it was too close, I don't know. But obviously some great facilities and stadiums, and I think that the country's set up that it could probably host tomorrow's World Cup if it needed to. But I'm sure they'll make some adjustments and everything's going to be set up in a way to have a great World Cup.
Well, we're looking forward to seeing it. We're looking forward to following the PC men's soccer team in the fall season. But Coach, I appreciate your taking the time to come in. I know you've got players to go recruit.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Craig Stewart, thank you so much.
Pleasure.
Take care.
Thank you.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back here in the Navigant Credit Union Broadcast Center with our next guest. Hi everyone, welcome back to the Navigant Credit Union Broadcast Center. I'm GoLocal News Editor Kate Nagel. Thanks for joining us for the 4 o'clock show. We have a familiar face, Robin Del Sesto Garceau with Robin Garceau Interiors. Thank you for joining us today.
You're welcome.
I appreciate your coming in because I love this topic that we're going to talk about this week. Buying online and mistakes to avoid with buying online, just where everything's going, groceries, clothes, but interior design, this is your house. There's a lot to it. There's a lot of moving pieces.
Yes, there is.
And you broke it down on things to look at when you are, again, scrolling through your computer and you see something that might look great, but there's things to keep in mind.
There is. So many times now I've been doing custom furniture and ordering product from photography for years, 30 years, but it's new to people now with sofas, and they go online and think, oh, this is a great sofa for, you know, $399. I think I'm going to get it. And there are so many things to really look at first before you make that purchase.
Understanding sizes. Always look closely at the size. Sofas and chairs with length and height, depth.
Right. So, you know, sometimes you go online and you see a sofa, and it looks great, you know, beautiful. Oh, how nice. You really have to pay attention to the sizes. Somebody came to me one time and said, oh, I ordered this beautiful sofa online, and it came in, and it was like for miniature people. It was from a kid's collection, so it was half the size of what?
PB Kids, maybe?
Yes, yes, exactly. And so, you know, you don't realize it because you think it's beautiful, you think it's a good size, or it appears to be a good size, and it really just isn't.
You got to have your measuring tape out, looking at what that size is and what maybe you currently have and what your space allows.
And even if you're working with a designer, or you're going into a showroom, or if you're just browsing and you're looking, and you just always want to be aware of sizing. When I work with clients, I always show them a photograph, but we discuss the size. If you don't understand it, ask, or go to what you have now and measure exactly what you have now. The height, the width, the seat depth, the seat height, the arm height, all of that is really, really important.
Well, that's a good starting point too, as you're looking at numbers, and you might say, oh, that might fit, but arm height compared to what you currently have. I love this one. Cushion construction. How many times have you gone furniture shopping and sat down on everything? I mean, how do you really know what you're getting from a cushion perspective?
You don't, and that's the other thing. Sometimes for when you want an actual sofa that will last, you want to have a spring down cushion in there, because that will give you something that comes back all the time and gives you a nice seat. If you're ordering online, if you're thinking about ordering online and the sofa's $2,500, go to a local store first and actually look. Sometimes people think they're getting a better deal online, but that's not always the case. If you end up ordering something and then you can't return it, you end up spending good money after bad. It's like throwing your money out the door. So you may as well do it right the first time. So you may want to go to a local store. You may want to talk to an interior designer. So it's not always worth what you think is the savings that you're getting online.
So cushion construction, I loved that one. So kind of talking about furniture-based approaches to buying online. Lighting.
Lighting is tough too, because again, it appears a certain way, and you may think it's coming in and it's this big, but in reality it's this big, and all of a sudden you have a sconce that's way too big for any room you can use. Now granted, a lot of lighting you can pack up, they say free returns and things like that, but really be aware of what you're ordering. And the light quality, and even if it's a polished nickel finish, okay, is it a cheap metal polished nickel, or is it a nice?
There's different qualities.
There's definitely different qualities. I mean, just like if you're buying a Kia or you're buying a Maserati, you have that level, and that's all of that when you're actually purchasing home furnishings.
So lighting's one. Let's talk a little bit about area rugs. A lot of rugs online, but again, a lot of differentiation between rug quality.
Oh, definitely. You know, I was just working with a client, because sometimes people hire me, they say, Robin, I have one client now, she's like, Robin, I've just got to get my house ready for the 4th of July. We just bought it. I want to just buy some things to get it going for the 4th, and then we can work on window treatments and things that are going to stay there forever. And so I showed her an area rug. She loved it. She bought it. She purchased one online, because it was, I don't know, $300 or
With
something.
or without your...
Well, she showed it to me, and we needed it quickly.
Yeah.
And I said, well, you know what you're going to get for this price? And she said, yeah, I get it.
I want it.
She said, but you know what? I might get, things might get spilled on it. It's going under a dining room table, and if I hate it by the end of the summer, I'll just throw it out. I'm like, great, okay.
So the rug comes in,
and it's like thin, and it's fine for now. It's fine to get her through the month of June to prepare for the 4th of July, but it won't be her forever rug.
Can you get a sense with rugs online, like heft and weight and thread count? Do they have those sort of specifications?
They do have like hand tufted wool and sometimes density and weight, like, you know, ounce wise. If you can look at a photo that's an up close shot, sometimes they'll have a photo of it laying down. Really look at it because you can get a good idea with it like that.
So let's talk about important things. Will it fit through your door?
Yes. Now, a couple of different things. There are sofas out there that literally you get delivered and you put them together like Legos. I've never seen that until one time. I hired somebody to do some staging for the boat show. We had a little booth there, and they were bringing in some furniture, and it came in a flat box. And I said, what is that?
A sofa.
It was a sofa. She literally pulled it out and had to put it together. I have never in my life, in all these years,
But it must have
that.
gotten into the house pretty easy.
Yes, it can get through any door, but just know, if you have, I had another client where she was almost ready to order a sofa that's 42 inches deep. If you've never seen a 42-inch deep sofa, that's a pretty deep sofa. So I told her, I was like, you are going to have so many problems. Just getting this in your house isn't a good idea. And sometimes it's not just about getting it through the door. It's can you make that corner.
Multiple doorways, absolutely.
Yeah.
That was my next question. You've got the foyer. You think you've got that door frame spec'd out, but just 3 or 4 feet, there's another doorway, and oops, you can't get it through.
You can't. And I mean, we've had to, there'll be times, you know, you have to bring a crane in and lift it up through a sliding glass door or something like that. So you really have to be aware of sizes and just know you can fit it through your door, because it's not fun when you find out this just isn't getting in there, or even a stairway. An elevator. I'm working on a condo in Newport right now. It's on the water. And we were about to order like an 88-inch console table. And I'm thinking to myself, how are we going to get it up
You've got the elevator in the back of your mind.
Yes, and it's on the 4th floor. And the elevator, after I measured, the elevator is only 71 inches tall. There's no way we are getting that piece up in that elevator, and I doubt I'm going to get my guys to like walk that thing up 4 flights of stairs. So you really, really have to think of where you are and what you do before you order anything.
And that's something to consider as well, because when you do shopping in person, a lot of times, if there's a delivery service, they take those things into account. I've known personally, couches going through first floor windows.
Yes.
But when you're ordering it online and they're delivering, you know, that UPS man or the delivery man isn't there for that company. He's not going to boost it up to your 2nd floor. Or
No, definitely not. And that's the other thing about delivery. Just make sure you know your delivery. They say free delivery.
That's my next question. I've got the delivery category here.
Right, because the delivery, you know, they say free delivery, but really, if a sofa has to come in by freight, which is truck. Do they have white glove service, which is, okay, it comes right from the manufacturer to your house and they bring it in? Or are they going to knock on your door and say, we have a sofa out on the truck
Things to
and
ask.
we need somebody to take it off the truck? Because that's happened as well. So, and also your street, you may not be able to get a freight truck down your street. So you really have to be aware. If it's a small chair or a little table, that's one thing. Sometimes it can go by UPS, no big deal. But if you're ordering large pieces of furniture or a chandelier, those chandeliers that might be 30 inches wide by you know, 36 inches tall. Their crates are about 4 feet wide by about 5 feet tall. They are huge, and it comes by freight.
Now, is that because they package just so they've got all the popcorn?
Yeah, it's not, and they actually build a crate around it, so
because
it's
so
hanging
fragile.
inside this box.
Wow.
So, and it's not light, and you have to have like practically a contract to take it apart just to get to the chandelier. So yeah, you definitely need to know about delivery and all of that.
So when you're advising clients, you work with clients and they see things in person, work with stores, you know, brick and mortar, you know, what do you say to your clients, and what do you say to the average person who might be watching and maybe not working with an interior designer? Just keep all of these things in mind if you are considering ordering online. Well, you know, would you say consider going into a store as well?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I always promote, I would prefer people going to local places first and foremost. It helps us, it helps our economy in Rhode Island. It's okay, even if you can't get to the store, if you're going to order something online, give someone a call and say, you know what, I saw this sofa, I need a sofa that's 84 by 38 by 34 high, and I'm looking for it in a Sombrella fabric or Krypton, some kind of performance fabric. What do you have? Can you send me some pictures? Maybe you can work with that person and they can send you some samples if you can't physically get to the store. Even though they have brick and mortar, you can still do that. If you're going to work with an interior designer, see if they work for consultation fees. I offer services where you can do packages of 10 hours. So you can do that. You can do design in a day. Okay, let's go shopping for the day. Let's sit at your kitchen table and just order all your furniture or your lighting or whatever you need. And then that way, or at least know what you're going to buy, so you create a strategy moving forward. Don't just jump in. Really, really think about it. And
before you go online. Mm-hmm. Maybe a last resort, if you will.
Yes, last resort, but really try to work with somebody local if you can, and really understand what you're trying to do. And if you don't get it, hire somebody to help you, because it's just not worth getting this piece of furniture in, hating it not working. Now you have to design your whole room around something you don't like.
Or return it, which seems like the biggest bear of all.
And sometimes they will not take it back. Especially if it's custom, a custom area rug from Pottery Barn or West Elm, you know, they're $2,500. You order it, it comes in, and it doesn't quite fit. Or,
it's custom.
Not sure. It's custom, exactly.
So maybe read the fine print about return policies.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Well, things to look at and pitfalls to avoid if you're looking at shopping online as it pertains to interior design. Robin Garceau, I appreciate your taking the time to come and
thank you, Kate.
Give folks the skinny. We'll be right back with our next guest here in the Navigant Credit Union Broadcast Center. Don't go anywhere. Hi everyone, welcome back to the Navigant Credit Union Broadcast Center. I'm GoLocal News editor Kate Nagel. Thanks for joining us for the News and Politics show today with a little lifestyle. Big news today, FIFA announcing the vote has been cast. North America is getting FIFA back in 2026. I'd like to welcome Matt Pugliese with the American Outlaws, Vice President.
Nice to meet you.
Thanks for coming back, and we appreciate it because we got the coach perspective from Craig Stewart.
Yeah, that was great.
You know, he's clearly a diehard England fan. and just what it means for his players and the player development. I mean, looking at 2026, here we are in 2018, we're probably going to see a whole host of new faces. But I wanted the fan perspective. You were waiting, you were saying, are we going to get it?
We had the same feeling in 2022, and we were very disappointed then, but now that it's 2026, we have a lot of time to build and a lot of time to get ready.
A lot to look forward to. One of the things I want to talk with you about, because you had a chance to check out some of the press conference at Gillette today, there's been some questions around the future of especially Revolution Soccer at Gillette, but there's the facility there, the Crafts have it. They are committed to having Gillette be that potential host city on that short list for 2026.
Yeah, I think it was always going to be Gillette Stadium. Obviously, with a World Cup, they want to be able to put as many people in the stands as possible. Typically, a soccer-specific stadium holds 20 to 25. So with Gillette being 68,000, it's the clear and obvious choice to host these games.
And so what are we keeping an eye on? Let's talk about the expansion of the field. We'll go into sort of maybe some FIFA politics as well. But what does this mean? Is it obviously more games, more exposure? Are you a fan of expanding the field? Yes and no?
Yeah, yes and no.
You're like the purist in me is like,
It's always great to know that a tournament that stays at 32 teams is it's exclusive. You have to be good to get in, but at the same time, being more inclusive and getting more countries in there. We've seen Iceland and Serbia and some of these smaller countries be able to get in, and I think it's always fun to those dark horse candidates to get in. So expanding the field only adds more of that and lets in some other countries.
So let's look ahead. It's 2018. We know the disappointment of the U.S. national team not being involved with this World Cup. What do you see moving forward? Who's in the pipeline? Do you think they rebound from this stronger than ever? Is soccer strong here in the country? Are we going to see them in 22 and 2026?
So it's really interesting. I mean, with the disappointment of not qualifying for 2018, we've gotten to see some players that we normally wouldn't get to see, and we're obviously running out a lot of our younger players. Obviously, everyone knows who Christian Pulisic is, but we're running out other guys, Tyler Adams, Josh Sargent, Matt Miazga, these guys. So I know that a lot of the fans are really excited to see these younger, hungry guys come out and prove themselves. But it's really interesting with this being in 2026. It's 8 years from now.
There's players out there we might not have heard of yet.
There's a 10-year-old, 12-year-old kid right now who could be starring for the U.S. men's national team in the World Cup that we host here. So and maybe he's from Providence. We don't know. So it's really, really exciting to see some of these new faces come up and reinvigorate people's interest in the U.S. men's national team.
And how do we stack up internationally with player development? Oftentimes you have seen kids go from the States to England, go abroad for that player development. Are we improving that player development standpoint here in this country?
I definitely think that we are. I mean, we have a long way to go, and we have a long way to catch up with other people, but we're improving things, and we have different avenues for kids to get into professional sports here. You had PC's men's soccer coach on. College sports is one way, and going abroad is another. So I think that we definitely have some catching up to do, but we have some interesting, unique factors that make us different from other countries, which I don't think we should necessarily get rid of altogether.
Let's talk a little bit about that fan experience. We were talking a little bit about what this economic impact could be.
Oh, yeah.
And, we're talking Gillette. We know what happens when teams play at Gillette here in Providence.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you look at even just for the Patriots, I mean, a lot of the teams that come to play the Patriots stay in Providence, and the same with the Revolution. So it's going to be a huge, huge boost. I mean, hotels, restaurants, bars, shopping, tourism in general around Rhode Island will definitely go up in 2026 with the World Cup coming.
So you're keeping an eye on Russia for the World Cup this year. So talk with us. I mean, even with the U.S. team not being involved with this World Cup, I mean, the excitement must be palpable right now.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we're the American Outlaws. We're doing a big party at Brass Monkey on Saturday, starting at 9 a.m. with the very first game, going all the way through the day. And
you're gonna be glued to the TV.
I'm going to be glued. Well, I have a wedding in Newport later on that day, but I'm going to be glued to it as much as I possibly can. But no, it's really exciting, and obviously there's a lot of disappointment, but at the same time, this gives us a chance to watch this tournament how we normally wouldn't, where we can really just enjoy it, take in all the soccer that we possibly can, and maybe get behind one of those small countries I mentioned that is a dark horse candidate.
Okay, so get behind those, again, the dark horses. Talk with us a little bit about FIFA. And the organization in general. They've had some issues.
Oh yeah, that's an understatement. I mean, it's interesting that such a huge governing body would go through such a large scandal like that. But things hopefully seem to be on the upturn. Obviously, you guys mentioned earlier the transparent bid process they went through, and they're doing what they can. I mean, obviously, there's still a long way to go. There's still a lot that needs to be done, but hopefully things are starting to turn for the better.
And we did talk with Coach Craig a little bit about 2022 and Qatar, the potential that they might be playing indoors because it's so hot.
Yeah, I mean 120 degrees during the highest part of the day. So that's a lot to ask from just people walking around, let alone people out on a soccer field.
So what else should fans know? I mean, clearly soccer fans around the country are elated today to find this. Do you think we know who those hosts? We've seen the short list, and we're talking here about Boston. But do we think we know where we're going to see these games in 2026?
Well, I don't think you can say for certain anywhere yet, but there's a lot of soccer projects going on around the country right now. Most notably, FC Cincinnati was just announced as a MLS expansion city. Obviously, LAFC just put in their brand new, beautiful stadium in downtown Los Angeles. So there's a lot going on in the soccer world in terms of these host cities that will really try to promote them up and build them up as a place to put these games. And I know that everyone's excited about the prospect of having up to 6 games at Gillette Stadium in 2026.
And you talk about that big stadium feel that Gillette has that capacity to have a World Cup capacity crowd. But as we know, the Crafts have been looking at a new soccer-specific stadium for the New England Revolution. Let's talk a little bit to that. Do we have any idea what we're going to see moving forward?
I don't think yet. I mean, they're still very committed to building a soccer-specific stadium. Obviously, their goal has always been to have a stadium in Metro Boston somewhere, and that presents unique challenges in itself.
So why not Providence, Crafts? Why not here?
It would be great for a lot of the fans that we have down here. But obviously, having it on public transportation is a big thing. They want to be in a metro hub where they can really grab that college crowd, that the immigrant crowd. They can really grab these people whose soccer is a big part of their lives. So it's tough. I know that they're still committed to doing it, though. I know that it's still the #1 goal that they have. So hopefully, before 2026, we've got some good news here.
So interesting to look back to 1994. Think about how the world has changed. Oh
my gosh.
No one was on their smartphone tweeting about that. I mean, we see the soccer world in which we live and the sports world in which we live, but I mean, it's unbelievable to think back. I mean, but at the end of the day, the game's still the same.
Yeah, I think it's only changed for the better. I mean, people have so much more access now. You don't need cable necessarily to watch a game. You can stream it live, or you can sign up for a subscription service of some kind. So the World Cup in 1994 was huge for the United States and huge for U.S. soccer. And I think that the 2026 World Cup is only going to be bigger. It's only going to add more to that with the amount of access that people have now. It's going to be great.
It's going to be very interesting to see who has viewing rights, whether they're television or streaming.
Oh, I know. We have no idea.
Again, it's going to be a whole new world order in 2026. But again, the big announcement today that FIFA has voted for North America in 2026. Matt Pugliese, I appreciate your taking the time to come in today.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
I'll let you around the corner. We'll talk with you soon.
Sounds great.
Okay, thanks. Okay, it's been a busy day here in the Navigant Credit Union Broadcast Center. 3 o'clock, Rick Simone with The Taste, talking with some great event-based establishments here in Rhode Island. Summer's a great event time. Actually, it still smells a little bit like lobster and a clam boil in here. It smells wonderful and summery. And then 4 o'clock, want to thank Robin Garceau with Robin Garceau Interiors, Craig Stewart with Providence College Men's Soccer, and Matt Pugliese. Again, the big news today, FIFA 2026 World Cup will be in North America, Boston, Gillette, on the short list to host. That just about wraps up another day here. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow at the Rhode Island State House. Governor Gina Raimondo will be joining GoLocal Live, and others will watch you. We'll be hoping you watch us up there. We'll be up there bringing news and politics straight to you. But in the meantime, be sure to read GoLocalProv.com. Watch us on Facebook. We look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. I'm GoLocal News Editor Kate Nagel.